In politics, what you do is to start by creating a perception, and then you work very hard to make that perception reality, so that your idea spreads like wildfire, and soon it becomes a reality. Now, the emerging phenomena of fake accounts being used to create a perception that is false, not true, the very opposite of reality, and then using it in politics to win an election is becoming a real concern in many countries. Somebody even tried it out in our elections right here in Kenya in 2017. It didn't quite work. And if you stick with me in this video, you'll find out exactly what went wrong. And so, as you all know, that election became a very contested election. The real results on the server were never released to date. But even more alarming is that the same disease is still very much with us here in Kenya. And that is one of the reasons why almost every poll released so far has shown that a certain candidate is the most popular candidate in the country. Which is confusing, because when you go to the ground, you find that that perception is false, not true. And yet a scientific poll carried out using scientific tools and measurements have told us again and again that Deputy President William Samoei Ruto is the most popular candidate. Well, on my show today, that mystery will be solved for you, and you'll be totally amazed at how it has been done. Folks, these fake accounts are effective, and they even purchased, I'll tell you from which countries. I dare say this has to be one of the most fascinating videos I've ever produced on this channel. Karibu sana and enjoy. Something happened during the 2017 general elections, and especially over the presidential elections, that puzzled many Kenyans, fooled many Kenyans, including yours truly. And even today, many people do not understand precisely what went down. Some of us have an idea, but to most people, it remains a puzzle. I hope at the end of this video to change that situation so that most Kenyans understand, because I believe this is very important, they completely understand what befell us as a country. The main character or the main man behind what happened is, of course, Dennis Itumbi. And many people already have a very important clue, that points to what may have happened. And this is fake accounts, fake social media accounts, or fake handles. Now, make no mistake about it, this is extremely effective, has proved to be extremely effective all over the world. in social media influencing. And trust me, it is not only happening in Kenya, or rather it has not only happened in Kenya, but it continues to happen all over the world. But first, let us understand how this works. And this is going to blow your mind away. Now, fake social media accounts are actually purchased. Oh yes, you heard me right. And according to my research, even talking to insiders, the main countries where people purchase these fake social media accounts are as follows: India, Pakistan, and to a lesser extent, Dubai. Now, this is the way it works. You purchase, say, 100,000 fake social media accounts. You will, of course, need to give certain details to the people supplying you with this, like age bracket, female or male, and in what ratio, etc., etc. And once you've taken delivery of your fake social media accounts, you have real power in your hands. And I hope I don't lose you. I'm giving you an idea of what happened in 2017 and what is still happening in Kenyan politics that fooled me then and continues to fool many Kenyans. And it has taken quite a long while for me to obtain this information. It was not easy. Now, let me start by giving an actual real-life example of how this was used very effectively in a certain European country. There was a political contest, and these fake accounts were used to start a controversial, trending conversation between two political opponents. That means that the social media agency that was handling this created arguments both for their client, the politician they wanted to win, and also for their opponent. Now, allow me to interrupt this for more clarity by pointing out something very powerful if you want to attract attention to something. Arguments and contests attract attention. How did some rap artists, performers, become so super successful? They created a feud between them and another rap artist. And this quickly attracted the attention of their fans and people who were previously not their fans. And in many cases, these arguments even turned violent, which attracted even more attention. And in the resulting controversy, somebody became very rich and very successful. If at the apartment block where you stay, a man starts a fight with his wife, you'll find your legs quickly taking you there to see what's happening. It's human nature. And it never fails to attract attention. And so, back to my example. This social media agency with a client created a very bitter argument and fielded arguments even for their opponents as well as their client. And it was something to drum up the emotions of voters. And the end result is that even people who had not planned to vote ended up voting in that election. And their client won, because they had thought the whole thing through before they launched it. And it all started with an argument created on social media using fake social media accounts controlled by this agency. And what was achieved politically would have been impossible to achieve even with very nice speeches all over that particular constituency by that political candidate. It would not have been as effective as this social media campaign using fake accounts. Let me give you another quick example. When you've purchased all these fake accounts and say they're on Twitter, you would be out of your mind not doing regular polling to discover which of your candidates are the most popular. I'm sure you catch my drift. And you'll always initiate these polls, knowing very well that there's no way you can lose. And your unsuspecting audience on Twitter, of course, have no idea what is happening. And they're closely scrutinizing your results and saying to themselves, wow, I didn't know this candidate was that popular. He's winning 60% of the vote, 70%, while the other guy who I thought was popular is always trailing. And of course, you can take this a little further. Hire a very professional, reputable, international research company and just make sure that at least part of their sampling involves social media. And you're guaranteed your candidate will always come out on top with a higher percentage, more popular. Game short, you have created your perception, the perception you wanted, that actually your man is more popular, much more popular. Now, theoretically, this perception is supposed to infect other people, real people, like a disease, so that after some time, more and more people are supporting your candidate. The undecided people don't want to vote for a loser. They want to vote for a winner. And it is very clear to them from the scientific polls that this other man is more popular. And some of these people, who are won over to your side, are influencers. They influence hundreds, maybe they influence thousands. And so when the elections come, a candidate that would not have won ends up winning. True story. Now, in 2017, using these tactics, a few things went wrong. The side using these tactics had so little support, such a small percentage of the vote, that this technique was not enough to win them the election. They must have ended up getting a lot more votes than they would have gotten. Because this thing works. Believe me, it works. It is effective. That is why people use it. Even businesses, companies all over the world pay a lot of money to these agencies to make this magic happen. And so the other side lost the election, and they were forced to desperately rig that election. They were forced to ensure that the real results, locked up in a server somewhere, were never released. And to date, they have never been released. Now you can begin to understand how this thing works. If you look at most YouTube channels that cover politics, including this one, you will notice that some comments are repetitive, exact words, exact phrase, over and over again, in support of a certain candidate. You see, there's also some hard work involved, because you have to find a way to get a lot of your 100,000 fake accounts to comment, to say something. And so cutting and pasting the same comment and attributing it to different handles at different times saves time. Now, prepare yourselves. Here is the big shocker. Based on the information I've just given you, it means that it would not be too difficult to control the narrative on a social media forum, especially a popular one like Twitter. It means that it is possible for you to control and decide what you want to trend and what you don't want to trend, which gives you enormous control and power over the unsuspecting public. You can create whatever perception you want, from trending hashtags that you yourself have created, popularized, organized so that they trend. That is real power on social media. Now in 2017, I came back into politics after a long layoff of a few years. And initially, when I started doing my videos on YouTube, I had not organized myself enough to hit the ground, like I like to do. Go right down to the grassroots and talk to people, hear what they're saying. And so I used social media in Kenya to get a feel of what Kenyans were thinking, of possible ways in which Kenyans would vote in the 2017 general elections and presidential elections. And I was quickly fooled into believing the tyranny of numbers is a fact. I was easily fooled into believing that the Jubilee Party would be so difficult to defeat. It was very difficult for anybody, even Raila Odinga, to defeat the Jubilee Party. But when I started hitting the ground, going to the people, I quickly became suspicious and very puzzled. Because the perception I was sure was the reality created on social media fooled me into believing. But I quickly realized that it completely contradicted the reality on the ground. I believe if you go back to my earlier videos in 2017, you will clearly see this from my videos, the videos I created. And of course, at that time, I didn't have all the information that I have now. So I was still puzzled. I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I couldn't figure out what was really going on. But now I know. And now you know. Super fascinatingly, there has been a controversy in India where the ruling party has accused another political party of using fake accounts, creating the perception that they're actually more popular than they really are in the country. This should be clear evidence to anybody that this practice, this evil, illegal practice is rampant across the globe. And it is hardly surprising that politics is right at the top of the list of clients to these agencies that do this kind of work, evil work. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.